UFC 286. This is the weigh-in recap show, full card predictions, and the betting breakdown. Main event, Leon Edwards, Kamaru Usman 3. Pretty fun card. Looking forward to talking about all of the matchups for the final time. Make sure you guys smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Turn those post notifications on and make sure to share the video as well. Join me for the Fight Companion, 1 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. Looking forward to it. We'll be live for the entire card. And let's get into our first fight of the night. It's Veronica Hardy versus Juliana Miller. The pick has been Juliana Miller all week long. She's the full-time fighter. I do like the Ultimate Fighter experience. I think that's going to be very valuable here against a Veronica Hardy who 6-4-1. She's got some fights in MMA, hasn't fought in nearly 3 years, retired from the sport. I think she's in trouble against Juliana Miller. Let's look at the scales and let's see if anything changes here. I'll shrink myself down so we can really get a good look. There is Veronica Hardy. Looks solid on the scale. Juliana Miller looks in very good shape. I like Juliana Miller's chances a ton. We'll go to the ceremonials. We'll slide through both because I want to get that official face-off. There's Juliana Miller throwing her mask. And then there's the stare down. You see a little bit of a height difference favoring the side of Juliana Miller. I do think that could be a valuable asset, especially if they're striking. Nothing's telling me Veronica Hardy has a chance. Juliana Miller, the pick, I think she could get that finish. I'm going to say submission. I got her winning this fight. Let's jump to the odds. Let's talk some betting odds for this one. Now, as far as Juliana Miller, she's a massive favorite at -400. Veronica Hardy plus 355. I've been saying sub all week. I'm going to stick with my guns on that submission call. Win by submission for Juliana Miller at plus 165. I think there's a fair shot. I think Moneyline Miller is a really quality female fight parlay piece to throw in. I like Juliana Miller a lot here. I say she gets the win. I do think there's a good shot it goes over that 1.5, -190, but I don't know about playing it because there is a possibility Miller could get an earlier stoppage in that second round. So we're going to go Juliana Miller to win by sub. Official pick. The scales changed nothing of the pick. Maybe even added more confidence to my side of Juliana Miller. She looked real confident at the face-offs. I like her intensity. And I see her winning. W, Juliana Miller. Let's keep running. Next fight. It is between Jai Herbert and Ľudovít Klein. I've been picking underdog Jai Herbert in this fight. Now, I acknowledge Ľudovít Klein's powerful and dangerous in the stand-up, but I like the size, the length of Jai Herbert. So the scales are something that I really feel like are a good factor in this matchup. So let's pull it up. Let's shrink myself down, and let's look at this. All right, we have Ľudovít Klein, who, I'll be honest, looks jacked. Jai Herbert, you know, he looks like an average man. He looks like an average guy on the scale. Good shape. Not an average man, really. He's very lean. But, you know, he doesn't have this tremendous physique. He doesn't look like jacked and muscular. Granted, he's 6'1". His opponent's 5'7" at the same weight class. That's why. There's Jai. I mean, he looks solid at the ceremonials. Filled up nice. Ľudovít's still looking huge. Then there's the face-off. Jai Herbert's in for a difficult fight. Ľudovít Klein looks tremendous on the scale. He's a powerful striker who's main concern I have with Ľudovít is that I don't feel he has the easiest time closing the gap on Jai Herbert. And I think that there's a chance Jai could be competitive or like better than him, even in the grappling department. I'm going to go Jai Herbert to win a competitive decision, but I will acknowledge the fact Ľudovít Klein looks very intense on the scale and seems ready for this fight. So it's not an easy matchup. This is going to be a fight. We're going to find out a lot here. I'm picking Jai to win. Don't feel like it's the craziest of confidence, but he is an underdog in this fight. And as a dog pick, I'm not swaying against him, but I do think he's in for a challenge against Ľudovít Klein. I'm telling you guys straight out. Ľudovít, -185. Jai, +175. Just money line it. Seriously, I would just money line it. I feel like risking it on a prop could be dangerous. One prop is rather an over-under. If you have the option, a -130 over 1.5 rounds, I feel like these guys are going longer here. I like the chances of that. The loud crowd could cause these guys to just clash immediately. I think Jai Herbert's still dangerous with his stand-up. Not going to say he gets the knockout of Ľudovít, though. So if there is a KO, I would assume it would be Ľudovít Klein knocking out Jai. Official pick, Jai Herbert to win by a decision, but he's in a real dogfight versus Ľudovít Klein here. Not an easy matchup by any means. Let's keep running to the next one. Next fight on the card, Joanne Wood, I should say, versus Luana Carolina. I've been picking the JoJo Calderwood side. I'm going to say Calderwood every time. I was on it all week. Now I'm messing it up here for the weigh-in show. Joanne Wood, JoJo. I'm picking her to win this fight against Luana Carolina, who I don't think has the technical martial arts skills to beat JoJo, but she is younger and she is quick. Maybe even a little faster in the stand-up than JoJo, especially at this point, but not super technical, awkward style, very like athletic-based striking style as opposed to being real technical. She can still throw, though. I mean, she's not, it's like she isn't a threat, is what I'm really trying to say here. Let's look at this, the official weigh-in here. I got to shrink myself down, and let's look at Luana Carolina. There's Luana, looks pretty average on the scale. There's JoJo. You know, she looks pretty average on the scale, too, to be 100% honest. Not like these are, two of the more menacing physiques in MMA. Luana there, JoJo there. She's got the arrow in her hand, and right away, she got in the face of Carolina. They were nose to nose. JoJo's very intense, super intense, but does definitely look older. You know, she's had some wear and tear. She's been in this game a long time. I think JoJo should really beat the mid-tier Carolina. Carolina's not that good. I'm picking JoJo to win a decision, but when fighters do pass 35, when they haven't won a fight in a while, they become suspect, a little concerning, right? There's a red flag maybe around a betting side, I would say, for JoJo. But Luana Carolina is not the underdog you want to back with these great skills, and wow, she's so underappreciated. She's pretty mid. I'm picking JoJo to win, but I don't love the betting side. I'll talk about the odds right now, though. Let's break them down. Let's look at them here. All right, so odds for this fight. Joanne Calderwood around minus 167 best value. Carolina plus 160. I like Wood to get this thing done. I think she's going to win the fight. I'm going to say she gets a decision. Over 2.5, minus 290. Would it be the craziest ever if, like, Wood somehow pulled off a sub? I'm just curious what that's at. Wood by sub plus 800. I know she hasn't won by submission maybe in a while, but she got subs at some point. I got to double check this now with JoJo. I swear. She got some subs here. One win by sub. Wow, no, I'm mixing her up. I'm thinking of her fighting on The Ultimate Fighter, and I believe she got Kimura, and I'm thinking that she landed that Kimura. She didn't. I guess JoJo's sub game is not really there, so she's going to be forced into a bit of a stand-up fight or using grappling for takedowns. I still think she's a bit better than Carolina, but she doesn't look great, man. She doesn't look great. She doesn't look great at all. I don't think JoJo's getting that sub. I guess that line is justified. I think we could go a little bit longer here. Let's see. Carolina right now is a plus 160 dog. Over 2.5, minus 290. I'll tell you this, man. As I looked at that face-off, I just feel like JoJo does look old and very intense, almost nervous. I don't think Carolina's good. But she is a dog. And I think that maybe she could steal a decision. So I do want to just mention Carolina by decision plus 260. So I'm just mentioning. I'm not switching the pick. The pick is JoJo. But there are some relative concerns that I have with Calderwood at this point of her career at 37. It's just I don't think Carolina's got skills. She's just athletic and a little bit big, but the size is no difference in this matchup here. I'm going the side of Wood, but yeah, it's low confidence. Dog or pass betting situation. So if you're going to bet this fight, I would honestly lean you towards dog or pass. It's a women's MMA rule, a lot of the time. Granted, I'm not saying that rule stands in every circumstance. As the week was earlier, I was like, nah, JoJo's ready. Seeing her, how she looks, the face-off, too much intensity. I don't love the overly intense look for JoJo. Enough so that I think it's a dog or pass fight. That's what I'm thinking about this matchup. You can stick on JoJo as an official pick. I'm not going to sway from where I've gone all week. But after seeing them on the scales, I would not bet JoJo. I'd be more open to betting that dog money side on Carolina. Let's keep running. Next fight on the card. Jake Hadley versus Malcolm Gordon. Malcolm Gordon comes in really overweight. Unfortunate that he did such a thing. He's losing the fight. I mean, Jake Hadley's got this win. I think Jake Hadley is a real prospect. I don't think he's going to be a UFC washout. We'll pull them up on the scales and check things out. We'll see. We'll see if anything shifts as we look at the physiques of the fighters. Malcolm Gordon, why are you wearing a fucking shirt, bro? I guess because you came in overweight. And there's Jake Hadley. All right, we got to go to the ceremonials here. Malcolm Gordon, I mean, he looks lean. He doesn't look like he came in fat. Jake Hadley looks in great shape, ready to win. Then there's a face-off, kind of a Diaz-esque face-off appearance for Jake Hadley. I think he can beat Malcolm Gordon. I think in the striking, Hadley's definitely better. On the ground, Gordon's got decent jits, but I could see Hadley even pulling something off. He looked pretty good with the Candelario win. I think Jake Hadley gets this thing done. I'll pick him to win. Kind of feel like it could go the distance here. But seeing that Malcolm Gordon comes in overweight, I don't know. It's just a bad sign. I don't feel like Malcolm Gordon has confidence in winning this fight. I think that he knows he's in for a real difficult matchup and one that he might get finished in. Hadley's a massive favorite, minus 380. Gordon, plus 340. Let's see. Jake Hadley. Hadley to win by a decision, plus 350. What is inside the distance? Hadley inside the distance is minus 145. So that's the most expected method of victory. I do think there's a fair chance he does get a finish of Gordon. And I'm picking Hadley to win with some strong confidence. It comes down to, would it be a knockout or would it be a submission? Truly, I'm having a hard time deciphering it because I liked the grappling skills Gordon showed in his fight with Mokaev. But I do feel like Hadley's pretty nasty with the jits. And because the wrestling differential isn't going to be as substantial here, I actually could see there being a more likelihood of an earlier finish for Hadley because of the more competitive scrambles where, you know, maybe more of a possibility for a mistake to be capitalized on than for Jake Hadley, as opposed to Mokaev, who's going to hold you in that position, lock you down. Obviously, Malcolm Gordon's last fight. We're going to go Jake Hadley to win, minus 380. I'm going to say he gets the finish. I'm feeling like it could be a knockout, but sub makes more sense. Inside the distance, either or. Either way, pick is the same. Jake Hadley with some strong confidence. I think he wins this thing. I like Jake's chances a ton here. He beats Malcolm overweight Gordon for sure. Next fight on the card. Christian Leroy Duncan versus Duško Todorović. I've been all over Leroy Duncan. I've called him the lock of the week. And, you know, that lock of the week tag, let's see if it holds through the official weigh-ins. I'll give you guys a hint. It absolutely did. You know, I already looked at these scales and saw what I'm getting. You got Duško Pudgy Todorović. You got Christian Leroy Duncan ready to rock. He's ready to do his thing. He's ready to enter the UFC and show he's got some dangerous striking and I think well-rounded enough game for a guy like Duško Todorović. There is Duško on the scale. I think he's getting cracked. I think he's getting worked. There's Leroy Duncan. And then there's the face-off. Leroy Duncan, the taller guy by a bit. I'm not impressed by Todorović. I think Leroy Duncan wins this thing. I think he might get a KO. He's a solid prospect. He's got some special striking. I think there's good capabilities. I think Leroy Duncan makes this like as his staple win, statement performance. Entering the UFC, you're doing it in England, and you get a big knockout of Duško Todorović. Stock is going through the roof at this point. Leroy Duncan for the win. I think that he is going to get a knockout. And yeah, that lock of the week tag is going to stand. But what happened here? We lost our picture. There we go. We're back. All right, let's keep running. Let's look at the odds for this matchup right here. The odds right now, minus 205, Leroy Duncan, Todorović at plus 190. Listen, Leroy Duncan, high confidence pick. I've been picking him all week. Lock of the week. I'm doubling down. He's getting the win. I do think he gets a finish here. Leroy Duncan to win via knockout, plus 115. Under 2.5 rounds, minus 220. Wow, expected. I don't think he's a bad money line. Just money line it. Leroy Duncan for the win. KO. Lock of the week. I'm doubling down. I think he's still got this thing. He looks good on the scale. He looks ready for what Duško brings. I like the chances of Leroy Duncan getting a W, so we're riding with him to stay undefeated in his UFC debut. Not an easy fight, but a winnable one for sure. I see him beating Duško. He'll rise to the occasion as well. Let's get to the next matchup, which is Lerone Murphy versus Gabriel Santos. The pick throughout the week has been the side of Lerone Murphy. You know, we're always wondering, does that hold up? Gabriel Santos, this picture of him, he looks like he's 14. You'll see him on the scale. He ain't 14. He ain't 14. I'll tell you that much. It was intense, too, with the face-off. All right, there is Santos. He seems like a wild motherfucker. And then there's Lerone Murphy, who looks shredded out. Lerone looks ready for the shit. Looking at the scales as the ceremonials, this is crazy-ass Santos. Freakishly shredded Lerone Murphy. Those abs look insane, bro. That's fucking scary. Then intense face-off. I think Murphy's knocking him out. I think Santos, that loud crowd, the booze is going to get to his head. He's a real young fighter, and I think Lerone Murphy's putting the hammer on him. He's getting the KO of an overzealous, undefeated guy coming into a huge opportunity. He's fighting Lerone Murphy. This ain't LFA. This ain't Samurai Fight House, all these regional leagues throughout Brazil. Shoot, though. This is the UFC, and Lerone Murphy is on home turf, too. Too tall of a task for a debut. Gabriel Santos is not going to be ready for what hit him. He's getting KO'd. We're going with the side of Lerone Murphy. Looking at the odds, Murphy minus 165. Gabriel Santos plus 160. I think there's a good chance that Lerone Murphy puts the hammer on him, man. We're going knockout win. Murphy to win by KO, upwards of plus 350. With that loud British crowd, I expect Murphy to put the lights out of Gabriel Santos. We're going Murphy with confidence, man. I'm excited as fuck for this fight, too. I like the face-off. Santos seemed emotional. He seems like he's in trouble. He's going out. He's getting KO'd. Lerone Murphy for the win. Next fight on the card. Mokaev versus Jafel Filho. Listen, Mokaev has been the pick all week, and I really didn't think the scales would change much. We will bring the scales up. You know, I'll leave you guys on a little bit of a cliffhanger as we bring up the scales real quick. The pick has been Mokaev all week. There's Filho. He's got the glasses on for some reason. And then there's Mokaev, looks ready to rock. There's Filho again. He kind of looks goofy. I don't know. He looks like a real estate agent from Brazil, in my opinion. That's the vibe I get. He's got like that real estate agent haircut. That guy, he works like maybe as a real estate agent, maybe he's an accountant. Like, he just, the most generic haircut I've ever seen. I don't know, man. And then you got Mokaev with the shaved head. I guess shaved head in a sense is generic, but it's more savagery for the fight game. You don't expect the business cut for the fight game as much. And then there's the face-off. Listen, Mokaev ain't losing to your accountant. Okay, Mokaev is going to run Filho over. Your real estate agent ain't getting a win here. This is a one-sided fight where Mokaev is going to dominate and shine. I'm going Mokaev to win, and I'm calling submission. I'm going to say he gets the finish. He should dominate this kid. It shouldn't be a competitive fight. It shouldn't be a competitive fight. Filho's not a bad fighter, but he ain't Mokaev. He's not ready for this level, and he's going to be in real trouble when the cage door closes. The odds, unfortunately, totally agree with me because it's minus 770 for Mokaev. Oh, my gosh. Plus 660 for Filho. Mokaev to win. Let's see. Submission? Mokaev by sub plus 135. Mokaev decision plus 190 is actually better. But the Mohamed Mokaev side getting a win is highest of likelihoods. He's getting this thing done. Mokaev for the W. Filho, the businessman, ain't coming through and beating this Dagestani prospect. No fucking chance. Mokaev, easy money. Easy money, smash the guy. Let's get to the next one. Oh, shit. Sam Patterson, Yanal, Ashmoz. I've been picking Sam Patterson throughout the week, but I've told you guys, honestly, I'm not overly confident in him as a fighter, and I didn't think he looked that great through the Contender Series. And even I remember when I watched him live, I said, I'm not impressed by this guy. He fights Yanal Ashmoz, who's a lot shorter than him. Still a difficult fucking test. A guy that's dangerous. He's got some power in those punches. He's got some wrestling too. Definitely a fight for Sam Patterson. One that the scales could tell us a little something. Let's pull it up here. That looks so awkward. All right. There we go. There is Ashmoz, who looks jacked and ready for this. And then Sam Patterson, thin, but also very ready for this too. Low body fat. He's coming to fight. These guys showing some love to one another. There's Ashmoz, jacked. Look at this freak. Then there's Sam Patterson, super tall, but complete opposite biceps. You got a completely flat arm, flat biceps. Then you got the freak Arnold Schwarzenegger peaks on the other side. Then there's the face-off. Patterson's tall. Guys, there's just a whisper in my ear that Ashmoz is going to touch that skinny neck, man. That chin, really, on that skinny neck. Tall guy at 155. The durability. Yeah, Jalen Turner's there. He's a freak of freaks. James Vick, tall guy, 155. Durability came into question as his career continued to progress. Now Sam Patterson is in a fight versus Ashmoz, who's hungry, who's not an easy fighter to deal with by any sense of the word. A guy who at this point has not tasted defeat. So I've been picking Patterson, but I haven't been liking that pick as much, especially after seeing them on the scales. So I'll tell you this. If you're considering throwing money on this fight, you're avoiding the Sam Patterson side. If he's already in your parlays, it is what it is. I've never been confident on him, though, throughout the whole week. What I do think, though, is KO win for Ashmoz, plus 650. Sniper prop it. Sniper prop. Even though I'm not going to jump out and switch the pick, because I definitely think Sam Patterson has a real path to victory, what I see is a guy who can be caught over that top. He's skinny. And Ashmoz is not here to lose this fight. Plus 650, sneaky prop. The Hail Mary prop hitter. That could be one. Officially, it's very low confidence towards Sam Patterson. The confidence, I feel like, is dropping by the fucking moment as we lead up to this fight. But I'm not going to jump ship. What I'm going to say is if I'm betting this fight, I'm going knockout prop on the Ashmoz side as opposed to betting on the skinny, tall dude. That should win. Should win. He's got some good experience. He should win. But it's not a certain thing. And he could get caught with these over-the-top shots. Ashmoz is very ready for this fight. And I'm not playing Sam Patterson at minus 255. So, Sam Patterson, pick. But if you're picking a bet and you have to bet this fight prop-wise, KO prop, Yanal Ashmoz. Let's keep running. Let's keep on running up the card. Yeah. Chris Duncan. Omar Morales throwing down. Listen, Chris Duncan's the pick by knockout. He has been all week. And I'll tell you guys, I'll spoil it from the get-go. The weigh-ins just reassured me with confidence in Chris Duncan's victory. You'll see Omar Morales. I look at him, and I don't know. I just see a guy who's already beaten. I don't know how to explain it. Maybe it's something in his eyes, something in his face. Something's just telling me he don't have this for Chris Duncan. Duncan looks jacked. He looks ready for this fight. Look at this face off here. Morales, he doesn't look ready for this moment. He's getting put his lights out, man. He's getting KO'd. Duncan is coming for war. Then there's the face-off. I can read the body language of Morales. This doubt. Doubt has already crept into Morales. He got knocked out in his last fight. He got finished in the fight prior to that. 2 fights before that, he was picked apart by Giga Chikadze. He now fights a hungry, young, striking prospect who's from a weight class above him, who hits with some fucking pop and is willing to engage and make it a war. I think that Chris Duncan gets the finish. I'm calling KO for Chris Duncan. High confidence at this point. I like the chance of it, guys. I really like the chance of it. As far as the odds for this fight here, Chris Duncan, minus 108, plus 105 for Morales. You better run out and, I guess, bet it now because some of these lines are shifting, but it's still plus 100 over at 5 dimes for Chris Duncan. But looking at KO for Duncan, my official pick, plus 205 best value. I think he's getting that knockout, guys. I love this prop. This also, I've mentioned this before, the under 2.5, which I'll bring up. But, dude, Morales is getting KO'd, guys. I feel it. Under 2.5, minus 165. I can sense something about this fight. I feel like my intuition's on with this one here. I think Morales is going to get chinned by Chris Duncan. 37, right? Not a young guy for 155. Never been at the pinnacle. And now you're fighting a hungry Chris Duncan on the come up who takes one to land one. If you're going take one to land one, and one dude's 29 and one dude's 37, 9 times out of 10, that 29-year-old's going to hold up here. That 37-year-old's going to crumble. Youth is a big factor too. The fire is a big factor. Chris Duncan's got 1 loss, and it's outside the UFC. Slava. He lost to Slava when Slava was this boogeyman striker, and we didn't know he had no grappling skills. Chris Duncan for the win. He's getting the knockout. He's beating Omar Morales. Good bet. Knockout prop. Let's jump to the featured prelim of the night. Jack Shore versus Makwan Amirkhani. I'm excited for this fight here. I've been picking Jack Shore throughout the whole week, and the scales I didn't think would really bring me any concern, but we're going to look at the fighters and see. Makwan Amirkhani, very good shape, ready to fight. Jack Shore, fat. Jack Shore looks fat, guys. Fat fighters are not fighters I want to bet on. I was confident on Jack Shore, but I'm expecting a little muscularity, some leanness. He looks like a fat slob. What the hell is Jack Shore doing? Amirkhani comes in, he looks solid. Jack Shore, soft as can be. He looks really soft, even in his face. Guys, I'm concerned about Jack Shore. Amirkhani, his energy at the weigh-ins was fantastic. Really good energy. Jack Shore didn't look like he had good energy. He's taking this fight up a weight class, and he doesn't look like he's really built any muscle. He's just not cut weight and, gained some visible body fat. And now you're being thrown a Makwan Amirkhani who is sick. He's sick. He's crazy. Makwan Amirkhani, even though he's taking these L's, I really think he believes he can win this fight. Now, when things get going tough, he can crumble. But what if Makwan Amirkhani is going to get a submission win in this fight and we're all just missing a mismark? Because can I really say a fat guy, Jack Shore, is going to get the win? Fat Jack Shore coming up from 35. Makwan Amirkhani was still bullying Lerone Murphy in the first round. Ricky Simone recently submitted Jack Shore. His last fight was a submission loss. Makwan Amirkhani money line plus 410. But looking at this, Makwan Amirkhani to win via submission, upwards of plus 800. Plus 410 is the money line. You get nearly double. Plus 800. Makwan Amirkhani to win. Guys, okay? We have to be realistic about this. I didn't even fucking bring myself to full size. I honestly don't need to. Because look. Sure, look at this guy. Look how fat he looks, bro. Is this a guy I want to bet on? Come on. Oh, fighting, it's not all about the looks. True, but I can tell who the fuck is really dialed into their diet and training. I'm not seeing that with Jack Shore right now. Maybe he's dealing with an injury. This bicep looks really fucking weird as well. And he's taking this fight. He doesn't want to pull out in front of, the English crowd. Makwan Amirkhani looks so confident. Something about Makwan Amirkhani is screaming, man. I was high confidence on Jack Shore. And tape-wise, I was. But, sometimes when you see them facing off, I know Jack Shore's also coming up from a different weight class, and then you come fat. I'm going Amirkhani. I'm flipping sides, man. I'm going to go Amirkhani by sub. Jack Shore looks so bad. I'm just going to do it. If I fall flat on my face, listen, I dared for fucking greatness here. But this is what I feel. I want to be honest. These other ones that I talked about, I didn't officially flip the pick, but I mentioned some things. This one, I have to flip, man. I'm going Amirkhani. I'm going fucking crazy. I might be going nuts. So who you going to trust? Me from Sunday or me from today? That's up to you. But Jack Shore looked like shit on the scale. Could that affect his performance? Definitely. Could he go out there and maybe look great? I guess. But am I going to bet on a Jack Shore now at minus 460 when he's fat? When Amirkhani's coming in hungry, shredded, motivated, and needing this for his job. A loss for sure. His career ain't over. For Amirkhani, he's getting his walking papers most likely. I'm going Amirkhani to save his job. Win by submission. Plus 800. We're flipping the pick to the Makwan Amirkhani side. The biggest dog on this damn card. And I'm picking it. I think he's doing it. Listen, this is why you listen to the weigh-in show. Because if that can come through, which I really feel like it's gonna be fucking bananas. Makwan Amirkhani upset. Jack Shore is too fat. He's too out of shape for me to pick. I ain't doing it. Let's jump to the main card. If you guys haven't, smash the likes. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. It's Marvin Vettori versus Roman Dolidze. I've been picking Vettori all week with his generalist style, good pressure. Listen, Dolidze's got some nice wins, for sure. I mean, this is a huge W at Hermanson. Good win of Phil Hawes. Kyle Dawkins W. Starpoli, not as impressive. Lost to Trevin Giles 2 years ago. Marvin Vettori is going to be, I think, too well-rounded. So we're picking Vettori here in this fight, but we will pull up the scales and check some things out here. Dolidze looking pretty good shape, ready to fucking rock. Vettori looks, as usual, good shape as well. And let's look at this face-off. Dolidze intense on the ceremonial scales. Vettori looks in very good shape on the ceremonials. And then there's the face-off. You see Dolidze's a bit taller. Dolidze is not an easy fight for Vettori, but I feel like Vettori's game works well in this fight because he doesn't need a finish. He can go out there, control against the cage, work a bit of striking. I think in the stand-up, you guys will see Vettori actually have some moments in this fight. I'm not overly impressed by Dolidze's strike. I feel like he's a little bit, I don't know, I don't want to say the word off balance, but I don't think he's all that tight with his style. I don't think he's all that technical. I don't think he's a great striker at all. I don't think Vettori's a great striker either, I should say, but I think Vettori is a technically better fighter who's pretty efficient. And I'm going with the more efficient guy. I'm going with the side of Marvin Vettori to win this bout. As far as the odds for the matchup here, Marvin Vettori, minus 245. Dolidze, plus 225. I'm taking the Vettori side. Yes, he's a favorite. I'm riding with the favorite here. Over 2.5, minus 195 is a pretty good chance. Unless it's like Vettori beating up a tired Dolidze and maybe strangling him and really putting a fucking stamp on it. But more likely it's a decision. Vettori to win by decision. Oh, it's not even playable, minus 120. Vettori by sub, plus 700. It's low likelihood he submits a guy with the grappling like this. More likely Vettori wins a hard-fought decision. I'm picking Vettori. I think he gets this thing done against Roman Dolidze. He's at a little bit of a disadvantage to height, but dude, look at the age. 29, 34. You know Vettori's getting better and better. He just, decided, hey, I'm going to Las Vegas to round out my game, training with savages like Sean Strickland. I think it's going to really come in handy with Roman Dolidze. Marvin Vettori win by unanimous decision. Next fight on the main card. Jennifer Maia versus Casey O'Neill. The pick all week has been Jennifer Maia. I've been going underdog Jennifer Maia to win. Casey O'Neill is young and not impressive against Roxanne Modafferi, to be honest with you. There's Casey O'Neill on the scale. Looks pretty average. Jennifer Maia, doesn't look bad. Looks ready to fight. Usual look for both ladies. Neither of them are bodybuilders out here. But you do see a little bit more biceps with Jennifer Maia. You see some of those abs. I like that little belly button piercing. She's got some savagery to her. A little bit of the edge with Jennifer Maia. Listen, I'm picking Jennifer Maia to win this thing. I think that she's going to be dangerous in the stand-up and on the ground. Not enough so where she's getting a finish, but she's threatening O'Neill over the course of the full 3. And I think she wins more moments. She gets this fight. I'm going to say Jennifer Maia gets a W. I think she's going to, send O'Neill her first loss. I guess the O's not going to go in the last name, but the O's got to go in the record. It's going to be a win for Jennifer Maia. I'm going to say unanimous decision, more significant strikes, even moments on the floor. I could see her looking well. We're going with Jennifer Maia, especially moments on the floor, I should say. But in the stand-up, I really think that Jennifer Maia is going to land a harder punch. She's got more power than a Casey O'Neill, in my opinion. So we're going with Jennifer Maia to win the fight. And let's jump to the betting side and talk some odds for the matchup here. All right. Jennifer Maia, plus 160. Casey O'Neill, minus 155. Jennifer Maia to win, plus 160. I'd money line it. To be honest, just money line this fight. That's my opinion. If you wanted to go decision, you had to go decision. I'll tell you the prop. It's decision win for Maia, plus 210. But just money line it. It's probably going over 2.5 as well, minus 285. Yeah, it's going distance. Maia's winning it. Good dog, bro. I think the dog's coming barking heavy in this fight. Let's get to the featured bout of the night. Gunnar Nelson and Bryan Barberena. So this fight right here, I've been picking Gunnar Nelson because he's definitely got the superior jiu-jitsu, the better grappler overall. But Bryan Barberena is a junkyard dog. He's coming to fucking throw down and give it all he's got. And he's never an easy guy to fight against. And even if you're betting against him, certain matchups, like the Dos Anjos fight was more, Dos Anjos still be doing nice work, had a good fight with Fiziev, even though he lost, he's going in there with top class. Gunnar Nelson last fight went over Takashi Sato. It was 11 months ago. Now, he's looking to get back into prime form. Granted, he's not at the prime age. He's 34 now. Barberena's 33, but he's been more active, sharpening that sword. Things, for whatever reason, concern me more so about this matchup after seeing the scales. I was more confident with Gunnar Nelson earlier through the week. And then Bryan Barberena, he showed up with these fucking painted nails. Barberena, man. Holy shit, this guy's fucking wild. Barberena with the painted nails. And then Gunnar Nelson, he looks like an early, like, 1800s strongman. I guess maybe it's the 1900s, but he looks like one of those early strongmen with the mustaches, you know, with that fucking look. Like he's in the circus or something like that. There's Barberena. He's crazy. Barberena's insane. Nelson looks very good, though. There's the face-off. A little bit of a height difference. Favors Barberena. The physiques ain't telling me nothing. I think this is a fight. Okay, so I have this weird vision of potentially Gunnar Nelson, if he struggles with takedowns, he will not be able to deal with the volume striking game of Barberena. So I'd be looking at this fight live. I'd be watching it, and I'd be like, yo, Gunnar Nelson can't land a takedown. If the line's still open live, then that plus money Barberena side, it's not crazy. It's definitely not crazy to consider playing. I'm not officially flipping the pick because I just have too much, of an idea of what could happen if this fight got to the floor, right? There's such an advantage, I think, in the pure jiu-jitsu elements towards Gunnar Nelson, the grappling elements, I should say. But if he's unable to take the fight to the floor, if Barberena is easily able to get back up to his feet, now the concern sets in. I wouldn't put my whole fucking dime on a Gunnar Nelson who's been out for 11 months, went the distance with Takashi Sato. And for whatever reason, I don't know, something feels off. The energy on the other side, Barberena looks intense and ready. He's crazy, man. Barberena don't quit. Plus 300 underdog, Brian Barberena. Gunnar Nelson minus 340. Barberena could be live here. I'm not going to fucking sit here and lie and tell you, no, Gunnar Nelson, he's still one of my most confident picks. He's not. I feel like I've lost confidence seeing him. How he looked at the face-offs, the energy I felt from Barberena. I know this is a dogfight, and I don't really want to be involved in betting heavy on a favorite in a dogfight like this. Fuck that. Fuck that shit. Over a round and a half, minus 150. There's a fair shot. Barberena to win by knockout. What's that? Plus 575. Listen, Brian Barberena could, but I think Nelson gets this done. And I also think if Nelson gets the back, so it's going to come down to the ifs of this fight. If there's takedown defense by Brian Barberena, I think Nelson's in trouble. But if Nelson can get this fight to the floor, he should shine on the floor. Win by submission, official prediction for Gunnar Nelson, plus 125. Obviously, there's more value on Barberena to win by knockout, plus 575. But this, I think, is going to be one of those fights where it's like you swayed a little bit to the dog side because Brian Barberena's energy and whatnot. But you know in the back of your minds, if you're betting Brian Barberena's dog, you know if they're on the floor, he's in trouble. So I'm going to go with the guy who's more dangerous on the floor. Even though Barberena could get a finish on the feet, he doesn't have that one punch sting. He's a volume puncher. If he had that Chaos Williams power, I'd be like, oh shit, we could be really in deep shit. So I'm still going Gunnar Nelson. I guess as I'm speaking, the confidence is mid towards Gunnar Nelson. Still a pick. I'm riding with him officially, but I know he's in for hell here because Brian Barberena is not an easy out by any means. Brian Barberena is a dog. Submission win, Gunnar Nelson. If you're betting Brian Barberena, I respect you going dog. If you're betting knockout, but maybe you're watching live. And then if you see Gunnar Nelson can't take this guy down, or especially can't hold him down or really advance any position, maybe then you're shifting to that Barberena side, getting a stoppage win. So official pick, Gunnar Nelson to get this thing done. Let's jump to the co-main event of the evening. It's Justin Gaethje versus Rafael Fiziev. I have been picking Rafael Fiziev to win throughout the entire week. I feel like I liked his aura all week. At the press conference, I liked his confidence. Seeing him officially on the scales and at the face-offs, I liked the confidence. So we'll jump into all that. Fiziev officially has been the pick all week. I will pull up the scales and I'll shrink myself down. And let's check this out. There is Fiziev, who looks jacked, shredded, and ready to fucking fight. Damn, he's been hanging out in Thailand, bro. Holy shit, he's looking jacked. And then there's Justin Gaethje. There's Justin Gaethje looking decent. Cut some weight. On the ceremonial side, Fiziev with the shirt, Gaethje with the shirt. Let's get the face off. There's a face off. The hat for Fiziev and Gaethje. You know, you see Fiziev gets a couple inches. He's a bit shorter than Justin Gaethje. I got to go with the more proficient Muay Thai practitioner, the kickboxing skill set, the takedown defense that is there. And yeah, Justin Gaethje, I want to wrestle. Yes, I know you got a collegiate wrestling background, but his whole MMA career, Justin Gaethje has not been taking guys down and beating them up. And now, all of a sudden, fight number whatever. How many fucking fights in are we for Gaethje at this point? Let me double check. Fight number, I don't know, 28? What is it, 28th fight? Fight 28. Let's fucking turn into a lay and pray grinder. Let's just take him down and beat him up. That's not really how it works. You have your set style. Gaethje's a brawler. He's a banger. It's his fucking game. And Fiziev is the sharper blade of the two. I'm going Fiziev for a knockout win in what should be a pretty epic fight that I honestly can't wait for. I'm so excited for these two. And I think Fiziev is on the come up with a win here. Huge opportunity if he wins this fight. Fiziev is the favorite, minus 215. Gaethje, plus 210. I like Fiziev's chances a ton. I think he's getting the KO. The under 2.5, minus 130. I think there is a finish in this fight. I think Fiziev's getting a knockout win. He's going to find holes in the striking defense, work the body a bit, go high, mix up punches and kicks. And even if Justin Gaethje attempts a takedown, he's going to be, oh shit. Fiziev's got some nasty defense. The hips of dangerous kickboxers that learn takedown defense, it correlates, man. Plus 150, Fiziev, knockout. I'm calling a Fiziev KO, and I think after this fight, he might be fighting for a belt if Dariush loses to Oliveira, or even if Dariush wins and the UFC's like, nah, we're giving it to Fiziev. Maybe a fight with Dustin Poirier. Fiziev winning this fight puts him into a huge category, because Justin Gaethje is an extremely top-of-the-line and popular star-type lightweight fighter. He's a big name in the lightweight division, and a win for Fiziev here, he's going to overtake that. And he becomes a real bad man at 155 because the striking style, the fans, they'll love this. They love this shit. If you've never seen Fiziev, goddamn, you're in for a treat because Gaethje's the guy that's going to, I think, bring the best out of Fiziev. Super excited for this fight. Fiziev, my official prediction to win. And I do feel like he's getting the KO of Justin Gaethje here. We're going Fiziev. Very excited fight. Holy hell. Main event of the evening. If you guys are watching and you haven't, make sure you smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. It's Leon Edwards versus Kamaru Usman 3. The final fight between these two will assume the trilogy bout for the title. Usman took a bad high kick, knockout loss in the last one, but he was winning the majority of the fight. There were a couple moments for Leon, especially that first round too, and obviously the high kick that ended the show. But the in-between was all Usman. Leon Edwards now is fighting, I think, a hungry Kamaru Usman, a dangerous and confident Usman who's got a lot to prove now. He's got to come back from that adversity. He was on such a run. He never tasted defeat, and then he tasted a flush high kick, and damn, flat out. My pick has been Usman all week to beat the side of Leon Edwards in the trilogy and reclaim the throne, and I think cement his name atop the welterweight GOAT list. As far as the scales, let's pull them up. Let's pull them up here. There's Colby Covington, backup fighter, who weighed in, which is cool. Usman looks jacked. Usman looks jacked and ready. Leon Edwards, slim, lean, shredded, and ready to go too. Not as muscular as Usman, but Usman's a freak. There's Usman walking in. Ceremonials. There's Usman flexing out. Weird looking stomach here, man. Holy shit. From the officials to the ceremonials, you could tell he rehydrated up, man. He's eating and drinking. He's filling out again. And then there's the champion of the world. This is legendary coach. Come on, Leon. Don't let him bully your son. That was the greatest motivational speech in professional fighting history, in my opinion. And then there's Leon, champion of the world, and then intense face-off. These guys getting at each other, jawing a bit. You got to love that. You got to love that shit. Confidence from Usman. Obviously, calm, cool, collected, smiling. Kamaru Usman, fucking, and then on the other side, Leon Edwards, looking just calm, cool, and collected. What the fuck? I'm mixing up the words of the two. I meant Leon looking calm, cool, collected, smiling. Usman's confident, ready to kill. This is going to be a dog fight. Very exciting matchup between these two. 286's main event. What are the odds looking like here? Okay, it's minus 225 for Kamaru Usman, plus 215 for Leon Edwards. We're in for a fucking war, in my opinion. Like, this fight could be crazy. This fight could be bananas, man. All right. Let's see. Money line. Usman's more than 2-1, and he's fighting a guy who just beat him. I don't know if I love the money lines here. So I'm looking for an over-under. I do think we go over 2.5 rounds, which sits about minus 285, but it could be higher depending where you're at. I'm not liking minus 200 for 3.5. We got so many options with props too. Wow, point deduction, takedown landed, tie, holy hell. Fight starts round 3, minus 370. Fight starts round 4, minus 260. I do think we get to the championship rounds. Usman to win by a decision is plus 120. That's not a great tag. And to have to sit through 5 rounds of hell, I don't want to play that side. Yeah, I don't love the betting side of this one. I like that over 2.5 that we saw up there at around minus 280. Prop bets I don't like. If you had to bet it and you're like, listen, I can't just do the over. I want to do something on a fighter to win. Usman decision plus 120, but maybe just money line it. But you're in for a war. This is come on, they're 1-1 against each other. When the cage door closes, chaos will fucking ensue. This is going to be a wild fight. And you saw last time, anything can happen. Just 25 minutes, anything could happen. Doesn't matter who's winning. Until that final bell, ding, till it's done, I should say. This shit's going to be crazy. This shit's going to be crazy. I'm picking Usman to win, but I'm acknowledging a serious threat on the other side. So obviously I don't love the betting on this main event because it's a fucking dogfight. I'm picking Kamaru Usman. If you had to bet it, you bet Usman money line. I like the over 2.5 rounds as well. I think we're in for a great fight. I really think we're in for a great fight. I'm trying to see if there's any other interesting potential bets here. Is there most takedowns landed? If we can find most takedowns landed, we know what side we'd be on there. We got most significant strikes here. Most takedowns. There we go. Minus 400. Usman, most takedowns. Hey, listen. I think that's a lock. I think he would land the most takedowns. I'll say that. Come on, Usman, to win. And once again, champion of the world. UFC 286 is bringing the heat, and I'm not done yet. I want to send you guys off with the parlays. We got to talk some parlays. This is, the post weigh-in parlay. So now I feel as though my feel is higher in certain directions, right? We have it all down pat now. Let's go. Omar Morales, Fiziev. I think tremendous play. Plus 182. Let's add another leg to it. Let's add in the lock from this week, Leroy Duncan. Now, I do think that the side of Morales has a great chance to win. I feel very confident in him now after seeing this one. I do think it's going under. I feel real confident in the side of, what the fuck? I picked Morales. I meant Duncan. Ignore that. Not Morales. Duncan. Ignore if you fucking just ran off quick, I'm sorry that you just got cursed with that. Duncan's going to get the win. Fiziev, very confident in him. I'm feeling real good about the Duncans. Both of the Chris Duncans on the card. And Fiziev, I think, get it done. Plus 340. I think this is a really solid play. I think there's a real good chance it comes through. All right, let's go. Over 2.5, minus 300. All right. Just to be a jackass, what if we added Amirkhani in? Plus 2,840. This could be a sneaky play. Jack Shore looks like dog shit. Jack Shore looks really bad. Jack Shore looks bad, man. Jake Hadley should win too. Plus 678. I'm not touching wood. I'm not putting Herbert in it. Minus 420, Juliana Miller. Fuck it, I'm adding Amirkhani again, plus 4,000. Maybe this is the masterful play. Listen, Amirkhani, dog, money to like likelihood of success is there. Can you imagine, right? If you went Yanal, Ashmoz, Amirkhani, if you just played this crazy-ass one and somebody just fucking went after it and somehow we're taking the books down with this one right here. Listen, be cautious with your bets. Be cautious with your parlays, but enjoy the fuck out of UFC 286. I'm going to be live for the entire card, so make sure you guys tune into the channel. Thank you all for watching. Run the likes up. Appreciate everybody for the constant support. Make sure you drop a W in the chat to boost that algorithm for your boy. As I said, I'll see you guys live for that fight companion tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern time, doing the entire UFC 286 fight card. Much love, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace, guys.